What's up, fam? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at a PvZ build. Not an all-in, actual macro. I was getting a lot of requests for a regular macro build as people had trouble, just playing actual macro games. Everyone just started all-inning, bunch of Marjories. It's not the way you want to play, of course, so here we go. There is some aggression in here, but mainly it's a very safe Oracle into Archon drop opener, constant immortal production into some kind of 8-gate push of 60-65 probes, so you get that full 3-base saturation with it. I first have a game against the AI, then I have a game which I played earlier today against Muta, which we can watch as well, so we can see the ideas in action. Now, it starts relatively standard with 14 pylon, 16 gate. We scout after gateway. I also got a lot of questions actually about the early game in PvZ. So I will be making a longer guide on how to basically beat all early pools. I won't do it next week. I might do it after the next WCS. So in about a week or 3 or 4. So look forward to that as well. But for now, Oracle opener into Archon drop. Now my opponent is a Protoss, but it's an AI, so it doesn't matter. He won't be interacting with us too much. We scout, see if there's a hatchery here. If the hatchery isn't down at this point, it either means he has a hatchery here, or he's proxy hatching, or he played a pool first, so you go into the main base. Of course, a regular hatchery, hatch first, goes down around 50, 52 seconds, something like that. Depending on how tight the zerg plays. Can be a little earlier as well. You scout around with your probe, but it's not too important. So after 14 pylon, 16 gate, 17 gas, 20 nexus, 20 cyber, which is the standard opener in both PvZ and PvT. You take your 22 gas, or 21 gas, 22 pylon. And from there on out, we can really start with the proper build order. Chrono Boost your first adept. Don't get your warp gate, please. We only get our warp gate after our Stargate and our Stalker. So right now we should be building our Stargate. There we go. Then after our adept, we should be able to queue up our Stalker, and we Chrono Boost this as well in case there's any kind of Overlord Scout or a Ling run by that we want to deal with. We keep the Stalker at home, and once money allows it, we start our warp gate. Now, we still had one Chrono Boost remaining, so we used it on the probes on our natural. During this build, we're basically continuously building probes. Like, there's not a point at which we stop probe production, so I'm not going to mention that from now on, but unless we stop probe production, I won't mention it. So, second unit Chrono Boost, you try to scout with the adept. You can try to scout the drone count on the natural. You can try to scout if your opponent is mining gas. I like the drone count on the natural. If they have usually 3 drones or 2 drones, you might want to be a little more careful. You might want to use your shade to see what pops from the larva as well. That should be over here. So if it's links, or like 6 links popping, you could be like, hey, why is there 6 links popping? That should be drones. And you can react accordingly. Maybe get a battery or something like that, or just play a little more safe with your Oracle movement. No. Continuous building probes. Preferably before 320 we want to finish our full wall. So we add a second gateway, and once our Stargate finishes we start our Oracle, and once energy allows we Chrono Boost our Oracle. We get our third pylon at 41 supply, and at this point we get our Robo once we get 100 gas. So that's the first 100 gas after our Oracle. After we start our robotics facility, we get 2 extra gases, and then once gas allows it, we'll get our Twilight Council. It should be around now. And then once money allows it, after we put our probes into the gas, we add 2 extra gateways and a pylon. So make sure you don't get supply lock. This is our 4th pylon. And I think this is a decent enough base layout as well. Get the Stargate kind of hidden. Overlords coming from here. We'll have a hard time scouting this. Overlords coming from here. It's not the easiest. Like if you build it here, it might be easier. Building your initial tech here is a little worse. Then you have the Robo and Twilight here, also rather hard to scout for your opponent. So there's two things you can actually do at this point, which I would like to kind of highlight. So you can either put your Adept in the wall and then use your Stalker to try to deny any kind of scouting, but you can also put your Stalker in the wall. That's what I did this game. I think I switched them. Yeah, there we go. We switched them because Stalkers are better against Banelings. They can tank an extra Baneling hit. So against Baneling Bust, this is nice. So if you want to feel a little bit extra safe and don't care about getting scouted, this is the way to do it. You can even do it the way that I do it this game, where you move your Stalker forward a little and the Baneling Splash won't be able to hit your second unit. So you basically have a double unit wall. So very good against Baneling Bust. Now, on the topic of safety, if you want to play it safe, you just go through the middle with your Oracle, right? You go like here, 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 here. You see the path that any Zerg units would take when they're going towards your base. So if it's roaches or lynx flooding across the map, you will see it with this Oracle. Of course, if you want your Oracle to remain a secret, you could rally it like this. So the bottom side of the map. Now, this is a choice that you have to make based on what you feel is more like your playstyle. Do you want to play it safe? Do you want to play it a bit more risky, but perhaps get a little more damage? In this case, I decided to play it safe and straight to the middle. We only want to use our Oracle Pulsar Beam one time, and we don't want to lose our Oracle. So if we see two queens here, and we activated our Pulsar Beam, we just go away. We don't even try to kill a drone because we'll lose our Oracle or almost lose our Oracle. We just use our Pulsar Beam, we turn off our Pulsar Beam and go away. Our Oracle is not for harassment, our Oracle is for safety. If you get 0 kills on your Oracle, that's completely fine. No one cares. It's just for scouting and for safety. Because the moment you lose this Oracle or you don't have enough energy, this build is complete garbage. And that's very dangerous. Alright, so now that we got the Oracle movement and the Oracle control covered, let's go back to the original build order. Once our Robo finishes, we start by chronoing a Warp Prism. And once our Twilight finishes, we get a Templar Archives. Now, this is where our first probe cut starts. Once we have 44 probes, which is 16 workers on minerals in both bases and 3 on each gas, so 12 plus 16 plus 16, you get 44. You make a probe cut, you warp in a second Adept, you get your Oracle back home to escort your 2 Adepts and a probe towards your third base. I'm just patrolling it here, but usually I don't, I swear. You build your Nexus and you build a pylon 1 space away, so you can fit your 2 Adepts in there. Now, after you build your Nexus and your pylon, you continue probe production and you start a forge. And you start a forge and you continue probe production. Okay, well, first we warp in the Templars and then we continue probe production. There we go. Fantastic. Get another pylon, make sure you don't get supply blocked. And the moment you have gas for it, you also start your observer. Now, from here on out, it's continuous probe production. Once money allows it, we start 2 extra gateways. Just add another pylon as well. We're harassing with our prism. It's not that important. At the start, I would like you to just focus on the build order and execute it properly. And then once you got the build order down and it's kind of an autopilot build, you can start really adding in the prism. For now, just make sure to not lose it and you're going to be fine. Trust me. You rally this observer to your prism, by the way. So imagine he has creep over here, you can kill it with your 2 archons. But once again, this only gets really important later on. The thing in this build is that it's very safe against Roach All-ins, Hydra All-ins, just basically any All-in, because you have continuous Immortal production. After you finish your observer, you start Immortals. Immortals always have #1 priority, before sentries, before your upgrades, before charge, anything. So the priority is Immortal, +1, we get a sentry, and then we get our charge. Continuous probe production, Then we get our second immortal, which should line up perfectly with the gas that we have. Look at that. And then once gas allows it, we get our second sentry. And once money allows it, with continuous probe production, no chrono boost on probes, by the way. Chrono boost all go into the robotics facility, the forge, and maybe one chrono boost on the twilight. Once money allows it, at around 6:15 apparently, 6:14, you add 2 extra gateways. Now, we're going up to 16 workers on our third base, and we don't take our gases yet. Okay? Because now we have a lot of gates which we can use, and we're going to use them very well. Make sure to not get survived up, continuously build pylons, and before we take our gases, we just want to spend all of our money on our warp gate cycles, basically. So until we use all of our warp gate cycles, we're not taking these gases. So you see, I have one available unit that I can make, and I'm not creating probes. Okay, now I cancel them. Now I start creating probes again, or I should, because I can't warp anything in, so there's no need for me to not build probes. Like, I'm just floating money at this point, so I should, here we go, start probe production, take our extra gases, we should be at about 7 minutes. Then once our third immortal is done, we start moving across the map, and we have a nice little 8-gate push off of, well, 66 workers, basically. Saturate your gases, and as you move out, everything should line up nicely. Your +1, your charge, your 3 immortals, you have an observer and a prism. Now, this push, this is not an all-in push. As you see, I'm starting storm behind it. If I can, usually what I do, I scout with my first sentry, I scout with an hallucination to count the amount of gases that the zerg has. And if I think my opponent is being aggressive, instead of getting gases, I just get batteries and cannons. If he's over-droning, perhaps I can kill him. If I see 8 gas, maybe I can kill him. If not, most of the time, I'm just happy with killing the 4th base. This usually is the goal of my push, killing the 4th base, nothing else. Nothing else matters for me. Just the 4th base is all I really want to kill. Okay? Alright. Let's continue. Well, we're here. And this is it, basically. Use your force fields, your charge lots. So, let's have a little benchmark moment. I also put this replay in the chat at, what should we say? 7:20? Yeah, 7:30. 7:31, we have 135 supply, 3 immortals, 66 probes, storm on the way, +1, and charge done. And 8 gates with a prism and observer. So I'll put this in the chat, I'll put this in the description thing on YouTube, and you should be able to download the replay, watch it, copy it. Once again, always benchmark my builds, then benchmark your own builds to make sure that you're doing it correctly. A lot of the time when people ask me, hey, I'm trying your build and it's not working, they send me a replay and their push out hits 5 minutes later. And I'm not even exaggerating, it will literally be at the 12-minute mark. It's like, hey, this is not my build order, this is my build order, and then you took a dump on it, and then you show it to me. It's like, I don't want this. Please make sure you have the build order correctly, okay? Alright, so that's it for the example against the AI. Now we're going to go into a real game, which we're only really going to watch the first 10 minutes. The ending is not too important. There we go. As it's just really about the theory of the early game and the start of the mid game, really. That's what's important to me. So. It is against Liquid Snoot, who you might or might not be familiar with. It's a fantastic Norwegian Zerg player. It's on the same map as well, and even the same positions. So, absolutely beautiful. So we get that 16 gate. The scout. Well, we see everything standard. We harass the drones a little bit. I'm not going to go over the build order too much. Just really on the movement of my oracle, the movement of my units. If you're more advanced, how you want to harass, this kind of stuff. So here we go with the scout. Now, in this case, I just was happy checking the gas. I didn't check drone count, but seeing the drone count here would have told me enough, all right? It would have basically told me, all right, he has 10, 11 drones at his natural. He's not link flooding me or anything like that, unless he transferred drones from his main, but that's extremely unlikely. Not a lot of people do that, as it loses you a lot of money. I check one more time, just making sure there's not too many zerglings. I have the Stalker in the wall, blah 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 blah, Robo, Pylon, Assimilators, Twilight Council. Now of course in a real game it's gonna be more difficult to hit everything as tightly. Even for me, I've played this build maybe 1,000 times in my life, and I still struggle with like the Twilight Council. You don't get it down at exactly 100 gas, you might get it down at 110. It's not the biggest of deal with this build. It isn't super tight. What is very important is that you don't forget any pylons. It's very common to get supply blocked on 62 out of 62, and you can only warp in 3 High Templar. That's bad. Now, I got very lucky. I hit my Oracle. I went, like I mentioned before, I went this route, and he played very greedy, didn't have any spores, so he lost 4 workers. Now that's a fantastic start. This never happens to me. Don't expect this to happen either, okay? This is not the standard. This is definitely not the standard now. He's playing very greedy as he doesn't have anything defending here. I saw that, and this is something you should usually never do because it's very risky. I used my Pulsar Beam, which is the Oracle attack, a second time, and as you can see now, I only have 27 energy, which means if he would have maybe 16 links or something, I would never be able to take my 3rd base, or it would be very difficult at least. So here we go, warping 1 extra adept. I'm even getting a little, I see no speed, so I'm like, alright, let's fight. And then his speed finishes, so that's a little less nice for me, but I get an okay trade here. Once again, this is very risky. As you see, no energy, and I need to warp in my my Templars here. Usually what you do is you protect the Templar warp in with your Oracle. So if I warp in 4 Templars here and the links come, I can't morph them into Archons. That's an issue. So usually you protect it with your Oracle. Now I even move it back a little because I realized this was a stupid position. Usually you want to do it up a cliff, up here, hidden down here, maybe over here. Difficult places for your opponent to find, okay? Now, got our observer started. Now, this is only for if you've played this build a lot, you get it perfectly every single time. You're hitting around that 530 mark with your Archon drop, or 525 or 5 whatever, early enough, before 540 basically. That's going to be our goal, okay? This part will be for you. If you're having trouble with the build, don't even think about this yet, okay? Just think about clearing creep perhaps. Or maybe keep it at home for safety, who knows. Just first get the build down. Now, what you want to do, you want to focus queens. You need 6 shots for a queen, so with 2 Archons, that's 3 shots each. Always focus the queen that has energy, so they can't transfuse. If there's links, you want to kill the links, you never really want to fight with roaches. Basically, after you get chased away by queens and roaches, what you want to be doing is you want to be clearing some creep, maybe try and sneak in some drone kills. So here I go. Ooh. Can I get it? Yeah, can get some drone kills. Absolutely perfect. Now, the real question is, do I scout properly? Usually what you're supposed to do, if you're not too busy microing your prism, is with your first sentry, you should, the moment it hits 75 energy, you should start a hallucinated phoenix, and you just go here, behind, 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 behind. So you just basically go behind the base, and while you do that, you can see every single gas, and most of the time you can also see the tech that your opponent has. If you don't see everything, you can just send a second hallucination. Now, I'm a little silly and I didn't do that, but once again, 6 gas means a Zerg wants tech higher than roaches. Anything below 6 gas should be danger territory, okay? This is scary. You have to think, hey, what kind of units does he have? Is he roach maxing? Why isn't he taking 6 gas? He can't really tech. He can't get tech units, can't get a lot of Banes, can't get a lot of lurkers with that, can't go to Hive. So you have to think, what should I do here? Well, perhaps a good policy that I use myself is to match your opponent's gas count. So if you see 4 gases, you stay on 4 gas. If you see 5 gas, you can stay on 5 gas. Now, of course, after you're safe and your opponent is still on 5 gas, so you have like maybe 2-3 cannons here and a battery, then you can be like, all right, I'll just take my 6 gas. There's no way he's killing me anyway. And because you have so many sentries, it's very easy to keep scouting with hallucination. Use it. Use it for prisms. A fake prism is fine. Fake phoenixes. No fake void rays. Those are useless. Just phoenixes and prisms, really. Prisms, of course, can trick your opponent. and phoenixes are very fast and very good scouters. Alright, so back to the build. So I clear some creep. Now you see I queue up a couple of pylons because I got a little bit of a supply block. We got our third immortal on the way. And remember the benchmark that I gave was 730 with 3 immortals, +1 and charge finished. Now, as this is a real game, of course it isn't as easy for me to hit it. I also think I had 135 supply last game. This game I only have 126. I did lose a couple of units, so maybe it can be explained, but it's a little worse than my actual example. I also put this replay in, but it's not as good as the sample replay, of course. I was in a very clear state of mind there. This was a game that I streamed as well, so apologies, boys, apologies. Now, at this point, what you want to do, and what you can do, is you use one of your sentries to send out a hallucination forward just to check your opponent's army. And if you're not scared of it and you think you can kill him, you kill him. If you don't think you can kill him, you either go back or you try to kill the fort base. Now, I didn't think I could kill him after I saw his army, so I figured I'd just clear some creep, which is very valuable as well, and I kill his fort base. Or maybe I attempt to kill his fort base, I can't remember. Oh, I attempt to kill his fort base and miserably fail. Fantastic. Well, this, basically nothing good happened here, right? I pushed out, I committed to an attack. I'm like, well, this went terrible. I did nothing. I lost 6 units for free. Maybe 3 zealots here, 3 zealots here. However, what I did do was I cleared all the creep on the map. I saw his stack. I forced Ravagers. So basically what I got was I paid 600 minerals for information and clearing all the creep and getting very close to killing a fort base. If I would have committed to it, I would have gotten it, which is fine. At the back of this, I have Storm on the way. I have +2 on the way. I know I need batteries because I see Swarm Host, so I can properly prepare for everything. And there's no creep. Once again, this is so big. The thing I like to do as I move back is to load up my prism immediately and create either a second prism or another immortal. Most of the time I create a second prism. So here we go. As I move back, I just send my prism out and put it here. So the moment he wants to do a counterattack, I have a counterattack to his counterattack setup. That's some big brain play, boys. This is the kind of Protoss play we need. Now, from here on out, no matter what the tech is, you just want to react in any kind of way. So usually what I do, I'll just go over all the tech options that you could have seen. So either it's Swarm Host, which in that case, get your storm, 4 or 5 stormers, get a bunch of batteries at your third, get vision everywhere, get a zealot here, get a zealot here, get a zealot here, maybe get a second oracle. Be sure to always have vision of his army. And just get a lot of static, tech to your mothership, get your carriers out, and you should be fine. If it was Hydras, we just get our Storm, Immortal Archon army. We should be able to A-move the ever-living crap out of him. If it's Lurkers, perhaps add a second Robo for more Immortals. Get your Storm, not as many Archons, just Charge Lot Immortal, 1-2 Archons, Storm, and get a good +2 army for a big push. And against Muta, that's the only different one. So with Muta, if you scout it earlier, you just get a battery and a cannon per base. Every single base gets a battery and a cannon, and you resume your Phoenix production just from a single Stargate. But that's only if you see a Spire. You get 3 Phoenixes when you see a Spire, and once you see the Mutas, you continue again. But you don't want to get 8 Phoenixes without seeing a single Muta. That's ridiculous. Then if they would throw down a fake Spire, then you would have to invest so much into Phoenixes. That's not good. Alright, so that is the Archon drop into 8-gate pressure into a macro game, basically. If you have any questions, of course, as always, ask them in the question section, comment section, whatever. Do it there. I won't respond to them, but maybe, no, just kidding. I respond to them occasionally. And yeah, that's it. See you boys next year. Bye bye.